Okay, we're back. It's been a couple of weeks, I guess. A month? When was the last time we played? I think it has been a month.
Make me 55.
Yeah. Alright, so. This controller's really different. It's the same controller I've been using the whole time. It's just I was playing earlier to get.
You have the magical sword?
Yeah. No, this is the white sword.
Well.
Didn't you read the thing just now?
Oh, right. What did you have to do?
Alright, so, I was collecting some rupees to get, okay, so I pretty much, okay, so we're at Dungeon 6 right now, and it's really hard for us, okay? And I figured, I just guessed, and I figured, you know what, the ring has to be a defense upgrade. And I just looked that one thing up, and I was right. So I saved up a bunch of money to get it, and I figured if I could get that, plus some potions. That was close.
Marco.
Oh. So wait, anyway, I could probably beat the dungeon with all that. So every time I find something, I always record it, and I walk a bit to see like how I get to that place again. So I wasn't able to get more than 255 rupees. So.
Look, you're blue now.
Oh, that was white.
I guess you're white? I like to think it's blue.
Okay, well,
Marco?
I'm colorblind, by the way. Also, I can kill Zoras. Yeah.
How did you get the sword?
So remember that guy that said master using it and you can have this or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found him again by accident. Trying to find some new stuff, and I just walked into the sword and I got it.
I think you had to beat a specific amount of dungeons.
Yeah.
Oh, Marco?
Okay, and guess what? You remember that woman that you pay her and she'll help you, but you have to pay the right amount?
Yeah.
I found another one. But this time she's way cheaper, so don't worry. Like, I think one of them is 20, 10, and there's 5, so don't worry about it. I figured it wouldn't be cheating if I was thinking if we have a hard time, what we should do is look up the manual itself.
That reminds me.
Yeah.
When I was at Toys R Us, I found this book of NES games. It was a guide to different NES games. Like, there was the map to Metroid and the different items for Zelda. I wanted to get it, but it was too late to get it.
Where'd you get it? Where'd you see it?
Toys R Us. It was on the desk. It was on a desk, and it looked like it was for sale.
That's cool. So I already have one potion. I was gonna get the red one. So apparently the red one gives me a red and a blue, which both restore my health. It's but I'm not gonna buy another one. Also, I couldn't get enough money to buy another one until because I couldn't save up enough money. But now these guys are
What
easier.
does the white sword do?
Double damage. So I kill enemies way faster. Oh wow. Okay, I'm doing bad there. Ow.
Do you know what's gonna be really helpful?
What?
In
The red ring?
Yeah. It's the quarter damage.
Yeah, I saw.
I
So we
think
still have to find the man in the grave, but I have no idea where that is.
I think those ghosts are toads.
I don't know what that is.
It's a type of spirit in Zelda. I know it from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
So where's the man in the grave anyway? I'm supposed to talk to him. Oh yeah, I also found I found a wall I could blow up, but it only led me to 30 rupees. So, you know, it's like it's a secret to everybody. I found 2 of those, and where I found the woman where you have to pay her and she'll give you info is, remember they said go walk through the waterfall?
Yeah.
I found her in the waterfall.
Huh. What did she do?
I didn't pay her yet. I was going to do that with everyone else. It doesn't cost that much. So thanks, Magnus. Am I going the wrong way? Wasn't it around here? Wasn't it in the grave anyway? See how it take a minute so fast? These guys probably take 4 hits now. I swear to God, it was like near the grave, and I'm just going off.
This game's fun.
Yes, I really like it, and I'm glad I have it on my 2DS. Or, yeah. No, that's exactly what I meant. Oh. Oh, good, just leave me here.
Oh, Marco?
Yeah.
When we beat this game, will you play Zelda 2 on your free time?
Totally.
Really?
I've always wanted to play it. You know, one thing I want to say about the Adventure of Link is, one thing that bothered me is, Ron, do you know Ronnie from Game Theory?
Yeah.
He's their editor. He does Gaming and Digression or whatever it's called. He's like in a green shirt with there's like characters in a green shirt with glasses and like an afro or some kind of hair. Anyway, he was on GT Live once, and they were talking about Matt Pett likes stuff like, you know, he finds Adventure of Link's a good game or something, and Ronnie says it's like he finds it's not a good game, and they didn't go into much detail about talking about it, but one of the things he said is in a game your weapon must have some distance, like, because like, you know how your sword is really short.
Yeah.
And I just completely disagree with that. I don't see why your weapon has to be long. Okay, you know how like there's Turtles in Time? That's a fun game. Like, just think of the first Ninja Turtle games. I don't know how long the range is, but I'm pretty sure it's short, but that's not the game I think of. Do you know what a game I played that I almost beat one time?
What?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 on Game Boy. Another one that has very small range. Power Rangers on Game Boy.
Wait,
It only hurts you only get hit enemies right in front of you.
You have those games?
Yeah. What, you thought I didn't have? Why?
I know about Ninja Turtles too, but not Power Rangers.
Yeah, on Game Boy.
Huh.
Oh, I love the music in that one. Okay, where is the dungeon? Wasn't it here?
It was up, I think.
I just went up those 2 places. Here? Get out of the way. Oh, why'd I stand there? There's no reason to stand. I didn't think it would make me go over. Alright, so... Alright, let's just go get those hearts again. Oh, you know what first I'll do? Okay, we'll get to the dungeon, but I want to get some rupees for...
The meat?
No, just for the woman. I'll show you guys where I find the best place to get rupees, because like, I've collected a lot, you know, I've collected to get quite a few things, and I'll show you guys where, you know, where I think the best enemies are for it. So I've been on such an unhealthy diet. Like, I've been eating way less these last couple weeks because I'm excited for my Christmas gift that I picked out for me. My dad bought it, but really can't wait for it. But I've been so excited that I haven't been binge eating or eating too much. But I've been eating like just Metro Pizza. Metro is our grocery store. And on Wednesdays they sell pizza that they make themselves, it's just when you eat it, I feel like there's like no nutrients in it, and like it doesn't like make you feel good. Like it doesn't make you feel bad, but it just, if you just keep eating it, like you're not getting anything out of it, health wise. So I've been eating that since Wednesday. It's Friday, but also been drinking Coke Zero again. I bought some Coke Zero because we ran out of water. I don't want to drink Diet Coke. Then my dad. Okay, these guys here drop pretty well. Some 5, just rupees or like the 5s. See? So these guys here. There's another place I think I can find them, but they drop. See how frequent they drop.
Try the boomerang.
Does that work? Oh. But they usually, I usually get like at least 1 or 2 pops. And these guys here. See that? They drop pretty well. Nice, right?
Yeah.
See, I've already made quite a bit. Also, I found the second dungeon again, because I usually just can't find it, but I stumbled upon it again. Trying to look for it. Okay, this will be hard. Gonna have to open up one of our videos. Figure out how I get there, because I don't like editing my videos, because I just don't like making extra. Yeah, this is just the start here. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, yeah, it was where I died going up that water hill, so yeah, that's it. You know, I heard something yesterday that really, it's not bugging me that much, but I really wish I didn't hear it. So, you know, I watch a lot of Let's Plays because I'm just bored a lot. And I don't like, I can't play video games. I can't just do that on my, alone. I have to be watching something and hear people talk or something. And the reason I don't listen to music is that I've heard all the songs I have so much. I don't really find music that often. The discovery I've done, like the last discovery I've made of music is Skillet, and that was a year ago. I haven't really found a lot of. What I do is I keep folders of the music for like, if it's not like from a CD or a band, I have folders from since 2012 of songs I just downloaded off YouTube. Put them in, like, so I have quite a few for this year, but a lot of them are actually songs I've already heard. I just couldn't find my old files of them. Anyway, but I'm watching Team 4 Start Gaming, and I remember when they started, what they did was they would play the game and do the voices of you know, the guys from Dragon Ball Z, so abridged, so it was like they were playing the game. But you know, I never really watched it at all. But they were doing Xenoverse 2, and I watched that because I wanted to see what differences there were from Xenoverse 2 from 1. I didn't play Xenoverse, actually, even the first one that much. I really don't like the fighting in it. I find it really lacking. But anyway. But I really enjoy their playthrough, and I find one thing that I find interesting are things that they come up with right away, of like ideas they come up with for Did I really not get far in this? I don't remember any of this. Who are these guys? I don't remember these.
I think those are woods roads.
I don't remember this at all. I'm pretty sure I've opened doors. I want to retry instead of continue. Sorry. Well, this episode isn't a lot of progress, but anyway, okay. And I also find them really funny, like, just the kind of things they think of on the spot. And, like, they think of them pretty fast, so, you know, I'm not surprised. You know, I understand now why they're so good at doing Dragon Ball Abridged. Anyway. Bored, Magnus?
No.
Tired?
Yes.
You're always tired when I need you.
I was at a party.
Oh, wow. Anyway, the thing about, like, sometimes lately this year I had to, like, stop watching playthroughs. Who I watch are Super Beard Bros, Game Grumps. I guess that's it, really. And I've been starting watching the Team 4 Stars Xenoverse 2 playthrough. And I watch GT Live every time that's on. Game Theory Live. But the thing I can't stand is when people talk about a game they hate or a movie they hate and they explain why they hate it or if they think it's bad. So I just can't stand it because I can't stand the negativity. And also the reasons for why the thing's bad I find so stupid. Like, I don't have the ring anymore. Wait, I didn't save. Why didn't you tell me anything? I just reloaded my save file and lost all that progress.
That's your fault.
How's that my fault? I know it's my fault, but why didn't you say anything?
I didn't know.
So much for freaking helping me with this game.
I'm tired.
You're not even paying attention to my glory. Anyway, they said something that I can't unhear, and the reason why, like, I don't like hearing these things. Okay, so the apparently one of the members says that he likes time travel movies and stories and stuff. Okay, and they're like, it's surprising that you like that, but you've never seen Back to the Future, because, like, that's probably the first thing everyone thinks of when time travel movies, right?
Yeah.
And they were talking about the first one's good. Everyone will say the second one is not as good. And the third, and then they said something really bad about the third one for people who find, if that's their favorite. I'm not gonna say it because it's just like, Magnus is here, it's just something he doesn't need to hear. And it just, they said that people who their third is their favorite only is because they jerk off to Western movies. Which is really just like, you know, not directed at anyone, but also in Community, like, there's Abed, who, you know, who's the movie geek, right? And he's always, he had this one line about, like, you know, Back to the Future 1 and 2 are great, but the third one was, like, you know, not so great. Three's my favorites, okay? And the third movie in a series really gets a lot of hate, right? The reason, okay, everyone loves Back to the Future, and, like, everyone thinks of, like, Doc Brown. He's the guy who invented the time machine in the movie.
The DeLorean?
Yeah. He didn't invent the DeLorean. The DeLorean's the type of car. Anyway. But you know what? You know what's something that I watched? Because I watched those movies probably... Okay, last time I watched them was probably a year ago when I borrowed my cousin's DVDs. I have them on Blu-ray now. But you know what I noticed?
What?
He is not a main character.
Oh.
Doc Brown, he is not a main character. Okay, in a movie or a story mangas, you have 1 or 2 main characters, okay? Everyone likes Doc Brown, but he's not actually a main character. He's a side character. The story is not focused on him. He's just there to, Marty goes to him for help, but he's not a focused on the story. He's just there to assist Marty. In number 3, he is a main character, because the story's very much, focused on him. And, okay, well, you know what pedophilia is, right?
Yeah.
Like, some people joke that, oh, Doc Brown hangs out with a teenager, so he's like a creepy old man. In number 3, he has a love interest, proven that he is into women, and he even has kids. And yeah, I mean, like, so Back to the Future 3 is my first West. Like, in that one, they go back and they're in like the cowboy days, okay? So it was my first Western movie to see, but it's not a bad movie. Like, it's another one of those things where people say, yeah, it's not as good as the other movies, but they don't say why. And one thing I think, if I brought it up, I would imagine they say, yeah, it's not as good because it's also not as memorable. But I could say, like, think of anything movie that you've seen probably once and haven't seen in a long time, and you liked it. You probably wouldn't remember. You probably remember it just as well as a movie you didn't like, that you've only seen once. If that makes sense, did I say that right? Back to the Future 3 is a good movie. Okay, and I think I finally learned that I watch movies for a completely different reason than a lot of people. So, like, than these people that I hear, because they'll say, for them, they'll say a movie is bad if, like, something really weird that they just didn't like happened in the movie, okay? I can't really think of something. Like, for some people don't like Alien 3 because the main character, you know how she's a woman, right?
Yeah.
She has to shave her head, so she's bald in the movie. And for some people are like, that's weird, this movie's bad. I'm dead serious.
I really like the actor.
The actress?
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver?
Yes.
What do you know about her? Oh yeah, she was in, she was in,
Bloodspot Suits.
yeah. Yeah, she's really famous. Actually, you know what's interesting? I'm sorry for those who don't want to hear, because I don't like saying things. Okay, you know how there's Daredevil, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist is coming out in March. So they're gonna team up, and there's gonna be a series called The Defenders where they all team up in probably in September. Okay. The villain's gonna be Sigourney Weaver, so that's pretty interesting. She's gonna play a character. So, actually, you know something? There's this guy named Spoonie. He used to do a lot of stuff with the the Nostalgia Critic. And years ago, in 2012 or 11, I started watching some of his stuff on his site, and he was saying how he hated, and said how bad Alien 3 and 4 were. And he said, and one of the reasons he said was that they paid Sigourney Weaver like way too much money for her just to be back in the movie, and he's like really, that's not a video. It's like he's really angry in it. It's all written, and I'm like, yeah, that it's called a contract they have. The guy who plays Jeff in Community, Joel McHale, has said that if there was another season of Community, the women who play Annie and Britta, they wouldn't be able to afford them because of how much work they've done, their contracts cost more than they used to. But I talked about it a lot in our .com playthrough. I won't go into it, but what about the movies? But I will say that some people, the reason why people say that a movie is bad is just the dumbest reason for me. One thing that really bothers me why I won't watch the Game Grumps Mario Galaxy playthrough is because Eagle Raptor was talking about how he thinks that The Dark Knight Rises is a really bad movie. And he says his reasons. He said, so, Bane's in the bank, and then there's this guy talking to him, and then Bane walks up to him all scary like, and then you can't understand what he says. And I'm like, that's you. That's on you. I understand everything he said in the movie.
What did he say?
I don't remember every line, Magnus. But like, I didn't have a problem understanding anything he said, and I didn't even watch it with subtitles. I understood everything he said. And okay, so you know, there was the this is how it should have ended.
Yeah.
They did it on So one of the things is that Bane trapped all the police, and how they did that was Commissioner Gordon ordered all the police to go after Bane when they found out his location. Okay, and this is how it should have ended. They were like, when the cops was like, maybe you should rethink that, and he's like, oh yeah, that was a dumb idea. Yeah, just send a couple of guys. The thing is, though, I'm not gonna say that it was if you think that the movie was bad because it had a bad decision in it, and the movie didn't make the smart decision you came up with, that does not make the movie bad. That makes no sense. Sure, it was a bad decision, but the whole city was under terrorist attack. They found out the location. They're like, you know what? No way Bane can take out all the police if we sent them after him, right? So I'm not saying it was a good idea, but there's a way that and it's also not that, oh, this makes sense that they would do this. It's that this is what happened, okay? This is where where they wanted to go with the story. Why is it that because it's a bad decision that makes the movie bad? This is what they wanted to happen. How does that make it bad? Sure, you found it weird, but that's not... And I'm being literal, but that's not what the word bad means. You know when people say there's a good... something's good or bad? Like a movie or... When I started watching Game Grumps in 2012, and Jontron was like, oh, have you played this game? It's so good. The way when I heard that, it felt weird. Because when I was a kid, you would always say, hey, this video game's great. They're using the word wrong. Good? Have you heard the thing, you do great, Superman does good? Because doing good doesn't mean doing well, it means doing not, like, you know, like good deeds. That's what doing good was. So when you say a movie is good, that sounds weird. When you say a movie is bad, you're literally not saying what it means. But even if I said, okay, you're saying good movie or bad movie, and I'll let you say it the way you want to, and I understand what you mean by that, it still doesn't make sense why they think it's a bad movie. They say, oh, it's bad because this and this, and it's like, that doesn't make it a bad movie in your definition. And I really want to get this off my chest because I cannot watch stuff, and I have a hard time watching stuff because I'm so scared of what they'll say. Do you know why it bothers me? So again, with the Back to the Future thing, if I watch Back to the Future 3, I'm just gonna have that comment repeated in my head all the time. I probably can't watch that movie anymore and enjoy it as much as I used to. So I enjoy it. It's my favorite one. Do you know why it's my favorite one? Because Doc Brown's a lot more involved in it.
Speaking of Back to the Future 3, you know that Lego game I got? Well, for the story mode, for Back to the Future level, do you know what they picked?
What, 3?
Yeah, the main characters you get with the game go to the...
Yeah, see, we've done this already. I guess I didn't save it.
They go to the Wild West.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the movie, Magnus.
No, I mean in the game.
Yeah, I don't get that. We should watch them because I love... See, when I watch Back to the Future, I don't watch one of the movies. I watch all 3. It's the same with Wayne's World. When I watch Wayne's World, I watch both of them. But, no, I love those movies because I don't care if people say one is lackluster than the other. Does that mean I'm not allowed to enjoy it or watch it? I mean, sure, they have the right to say that they don't think the movie's good. But does that mean I can't enjoy it? Like, it's the reason why they say it's bad is because, oh, it's all goofy with the hoverboard in the second one. That's why it's not as good as the first one. That's one of the reasons they said it was is not as good as the first one in Team 4-Star Gaming. That's one of the reasons they said. How does that make a movie bad? That makes no sense. I think it's an American thing, where they just have to have everything great or something. I don't know.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Like, remember the Cat in the Hat movie? Have you seen that? The live action one with Mike Myers?
I never wanted to watch it.
Okay, I saw that in theaters. My family liked it. We found it funny. Everyone hates that movie in America. We just see it in a different way than they do.
I'm not really a fan of the live action movies.
I like the Grinch Stole Christmas live action more.
Yeah, I really like that one.
But I guess I'll just end it that the reason why you think a movie is bad, literally, that's like, I don't mean literally of like bad movie being like a movie that has like that means to do bad stuff to you. I mean, like, the reason why you think a movie is not good is not a lot of people, what they say is not actually a reason that makes a bad movie. You know what a bad movie means? A movie that's not good at being what a movie is supposed to be. That's what it means. So that's why it bothers me what they say. But if I also let them say, like, okay, they're like, this happened, and I found that weird, I found that dumb, and like, this should have happened instead. How does that doesn't make it a bad movie, because the movie is still doing what a movie's supposed to do. It has a plot, it has characters, it's telling a story. There are, see, you know what I like out of movies? What I look for in them? I like to see the problem that they're given and how they solve it. They're given a problem, and I'm like, I have no idea how, like, if I was in this situation, or like, I can't figure out how these guys would solve it, and then they come up with something. Okay, I'm gonna go a bit longer on this. Sorry, I'm just gonna have a pause because I have to rant this. It is really bothering me. They were talking about, in Game Grumps, they were talking about Ross, who usually does Steam Train, was talking about, Eagle Raptor said that Ross really thinks The Dark Knight is a stupid movie, okay? When that movie came out, there was a lot of people are like, this is the best, an amazing movie, and a lot of people are like, this makes no sense, because they think too much about how they think too much about how the Joker could have set all this stuff up, and they're like, there's no way he could have pulled this all off. My thing for that is that, like, the Key of Awesome, where they made one of their first videos was The Dark Knight, was on the Dark Knight movie, and they're like, how the plot didn't make sense, and I watched behind the scenes, and they're like, explaining things like, so Joker planned to get away, but gets caught, but he planned to get caught, and then he planned to have and then when he was in jail, planned already that this guy would have a phone on him to blow up the cell so that he could get out of the jail, right? Okay, so yeah, if you say it like that, that doesn't make sense. There's like, no way Joker could have planned all this, but you know what? You don't know the character Joker too well. He is an insane homicidal maniac.
He's unpredictable.
Exactly. He can, and that's the thing they don't think about is, he can plan so much stuff. Like, okay, probably this isn't realistic, but you know what? It's possible in a movie. If that's the character trait of the character, you know what that means? Like, that's what the character does. Like, a character trait. Like, Zoro has bad directions, Sanji loves women. Those are character traits for those characters. If the character trait of the Joker is that he can pull off stuff, and just has a bunch of stuff planned, that's his character trait. Like, a lot of people are like, why would these people work for the Joker? And it's like, the Joker is able to get people to do what he wants them to do. It may be hard to explain it in a movie that makes sense. Like, think about that. Think about you want to make a Batman movie, and you have this, and you're like, the Joker is able to do this, and so you make like a plot of what the Joker's gonna do, and his evil plan, but you're like, wait, how do I get the guys to how did I make it make sense for these guys to follow Joker? It doesn't matter, because that's just how the Joker operates. It's a character trait of him. But another thing is that, so these guys work for him, but so that you can easily go into detail. The people could write about how it happened, but it's not that big a deal to put so much wonder into it. See, here's the thing. If you think of something like, hey, this doesn't make sense, just imagine. You know how it would make sense? All they would have to do is just write a way for it to make sense. Okay? I'm talking about this a little loosely, but if you can think of a reason why it would work, then that could be the reason. It could be something you can't think of, okay? When I'm trying to explain, I'm really blanking out right now about how to explain this, but so for them, it did, okay. Here's something, okay. So the Joker is driving out in a truck, okay, or something, and they're chasing him down the roads, okay, the streets. There's this helicopter that goes after them, okay, and the Joker doesn't have a route plan, okay. He's just trying to get away, okay. So they end up somewhere, and then these guys that work for the Joker shoot these grappling hooks across 2 buildings, and then they make this straight line with the ropes of the grappling hooks, and this helicopter's blades get caught in the rope and take down the helicopter. And the Key of Awesome guys were like, how did they plan for those guys to be there for the helicopter? And it's like, why do you think those guys were specifically there just for that? They could have been doing so much other stuff, and the Joker could have guys anywhere. If you can, so it wasn't mentioned in the movie, but it could have easily been mentioned in the movie. And it's one of those things that it's like, you should be able to think of it. That way we don't have to waste time explaining it to you, is what I'm trying to say, okay? But a lot of people find, like, the reason why I like The Dark Knight is because the danger that Batman has to face, like the things he has to overcome, and how it does do it. And it's like, it's very difficult, but he manages to do it. The Dark Knight Rises, I like The Dark Knight more, but the stakes, you know what the stakes mean, right? Yeah. Like the danger, the things that they have to do to overcome to save everything are way higher. You know what they did in Dark Knight Rises? They took over Gotham. They didn't just terrorize the town; they took over the town, blew up the bridges, said if the outside forces come to attack us, we will kill people, or something like that. I've only seen it once, but I don't remember it. Okay, they accomplished way more, so the stakes were higher, so that got me more excited, okay? I like that, okay? It's a step higher than Dark Knight, okay? And that's what I want, that's what I look for in a movie. Back to the Future, I like them because, okay, Back to the Future 1, the danger is that he goes back in time, and he has to find a way to get back to time, to the future, okay? But the problem is that in the movie, the parents explain how they first met, okay? And obviously, you know, they fell in love and they had kids, right? The main character, Marty, screwed up that first meeting, and now because of that, he won't be born. So before he goes back to they figure out how, they only have one chance. There's this lightning storm that happens that everyone knows about because it's been written down in history and everyone in the town talks about it. And they're like, this is our only chance to power up the car enough to get that lightning bolt. We know exactly where it'll strike. We have to get that lightning bolt, and we have enough, so we can get you enough power to use the time machine again, okay? So you have a few days to get your parents to connect, or you'll never be born. That's the problem, okay? In number 2, do you want me to tell you what happens? Because I really want to watch this movie with you. Okay, in number 2, okay, so in the first movie, there's this one guy who has, when they were in high school, this guy was the bully to the father of the main character, okay? So he still pushes him around when he's an adult. After Marty screws up the past a bit, in the future, that guy now works for Marty's father, okay? So the bully is now working for the guy he used to bully, okay? And Back to the Future 2, he discovers the time machine, uses it, goes back to the past with this magazine of every single sports, of like who won sports and all that, and like the dates and all that. And he said, take this, bet on all these, and he makes lots of money, okay? So then when Marty is in the future, so when he goes back to his time, he sees that it's all different because the bully changed the past, okay? So everything's different now. He has to go back and change it. So the stakes are kind of so you know, things have changed now. So in the first movie, he's trying to make things sure things don't change. Things have changed, so now he has to go through an adventure to change them. In the third movie, they're in the old Western times. Okay. They know that Doc Brown is going to be shot on a certain day. Okay. So he goes back to the past to save Doc Brown, and now they're in the Old West. How are they gonna power the car to get back to the future? That's the problem. It's a big you know, and I find that interesting. That's what I watch the movies for. I want to see how they solve it. So we went on, yeah, I imagined 40 minutes, but I really had to get that off my chest. But if you think a movie is bad, maybe think a bit more about, is it really bad because for the reasons I think it was bad? Like, sure, you can not enjoy a movie, but that doesn't mean the movie's bad. Like for me, Thomas, I was a huge Thomas fan as a baby, okay? And the Nostalgia Critic, when I stopped watching him because he did one on Thomas the Tank Engine, and the reasons he said the movie was bad was like, really, you have nothing to say about this movie. So, like, he noticed that, so it's live action, so there's this one girl who's played in it, and the Nostalgia Critic said, hey, this girl always has her mouth open throughout the whole movie, and it's like, I never noticed that, and I don't care. How does that make me think the movie's bad? The reasons, I don't remember the video, but the reasons he gave were like, this is not a bad movie for these reasons. And that's why I stopped watching him. He was really just not, he said movies were bad for like the dumbest reasons. Anyway, okay, we went on a bit. We're at the dungeon. I'm low health. Hopefully I can get some hearts. Let's see what happens, guys.